Right. Really proud of the guys. I mean, this is, throughout being an assistant coach, now first year as a head coach, even as a player, this is the kind of that game that's the most concerning. You're just not really sure. Some guys are making plans to go back home, see family. People coming in town, and I just couldn't be happier and more proud of them because they played the way they practiced the last few days, and it showed that they were nowhere else. They were locked in on San Diego, and took the Coach Hartman's scouting report to heart and just implemented it about as perfectly as we could have asked for him to do. And so I'm really happy for him, proud of him. And then overall, throughout the non-conference, I mean, this has gone really well in the non-conference, and I think they've done a really good job of putting themselves in a position to get better and in a good position to start Mountain West play.
Donovan just said that consistency is something that the team is striving for, not just in games, but practice, off the court, just in all areas. Do you feel like this team has gotten more consistent, specifically over these last 4 games? Do you feel like you know more of what you're going to get on a daily basis?
I think so, and I think a lot of that's just continuing to gel, as a team with the staff, with the schedule, and they've kind of shown that. I think coming back for these last 4 games, there was just a little different approach. Not that they necessarily changed a whole bunch. It just had a little different feel to it, having a few more games under their belt, some road trips under their belt, and so that practice approach has been. Practices have probably even been a little shorter, but more precise and specific, and they've done a really good job asking questions and continuing to grow as a group. And because the best part about it is we don't have to worry about these guys being in the gym. Anytime you walk into Mendenhall, there's going to be a guy shooting. So that allows us to put all of our focus on team activity during practice. And I think, as Donovan said, the consistency is starting to show. I think, shooting to 50% in the second half kind of showed that they recognized what was going on in the first half, how things were being guarded, and how they needed to do things differently and adjust. And so really happy that they're kind of taking that ownership on their own and making those adjustments.
Sort of a big picture look. Is this kind of where you thought you might be at this point going into conference play, or how do you assess it?
Yeah, I mean, and it's not. I'm not just saying it's not just coach speak, but we really didn't look ahead. With a new group, we really knew that every game being important, every game, there weren't a lot that we could just kind of assume that was going to happen with the guys or how they were going to feel. And you combine that with the injuries that a lot of them have battled through, with the ones that haven't had to deal with something that they've had a new team, kind of new roles, new positions to play almost for each game, or at least after every 2 or 3. So they've done an unbelievable job doing that. But I think to answer your question directly, I think we're incredibly proud of the strides they've made and how they're continuing to get better, and they're continuing to take more and more ownership of it as a group and put their stamp on it.
Has Donovan kind of proven that he can be that other scoring option next to Bryce Hamilton for you guys in Mountain West play?
I think so. I mean, Donovan, I think as much as anybody, Donovan has just transformed, really. And he's doing everything that we ask him to do. The offensive ideas that we put in for him as a staff, if you go back and comb through the game, he's doing, a couple of things he was doing early, he's cut all of that out. And I think his efficiency, just from everybody on the court kind of knowing what each other's going to do, it has proven that he can be a very, very good scorer. And on any night, if you've got 2 guys that another team has to worry about, that's pretty special. And then, of course, Royce Hamm with another double-double. He's just been about as consistent as you can be. But even when you go down the line, Vic coming with his shoulder, and playing those 10 minutes, for really the first time all year. Mike Nuga, knee was bothering him a little bit, nothing structural, but for him to go out and play 5 minutes and 40 seconds and give those guys a breather was about all he could do tonight, and he did that as well. And I think with the approach those guys had, David Mwoka, even Justin Webster, who hasn't been able to practice lately, coming out and playing those 2.5 minutes just really well. And I thought tonight they just really kind of gelled together as a team, and it ended up being pretty good for them.
Mike played a season low minutes. Is he banged up right now?
Yeah, he's a little banged up. That had nothing to do with anything other than, he went out there and did what he could. But when we came out, we talked for a minute, and we just felt that it was better not to put him back in after kind of sitting for a few minutes.
Did Walker make it through without any issue?
He did. He did. He went in. He kept bothering me though every time out to go back in, and he started getting a little annoying there at the end. But it's better that happens than the alternative. But we were ecstatic that he went out there and played those 10 minutes and got some game reps, and didn't tweak it, didn't hurt it anymore. All right. Happy holidays.
Thank you.
For Donovan, what's going to be the key taking what you guys have done the last 4 games and applying it in Mountain West play in a little over a week from now?
I think the biggest key is probably just consistency. So everything that we've been doing in practice, like we just talked about it, our practices leading up to the games, shoot-arounds, our warm-ups before the games, that's probably the biggest thing, because I think everything that we've done over the last 4 games has been, it works. So that's kind of the formula. I think that's what we have to stick to.
Royce, in the last 4 games, Donovan's had 30 and he had 20 tonight. What have you seen that's different from him now compared to the first few games?
I'm seeing the high school Elkins done. But it's been amazing to see Donovan's success. He's one of the guys that, like, of course, I've been with for a long time, and I know his work ethic and how much he cares about the game of basketball and how much he wants to do well. So it's great for me to just be along with him and encourage him on the court while he's doing well.
Last play of the first half, you think Keyshawn was getting that pass to you?
No, I didn't. I seen him look at me quick, but I thought he was actually going to kick it back out when he passed to me. I was like, man, I didn't even know how much time was left. I just went up.
Hey, Donovan, do you feel like this team has gotten more consistent as of late in your practices and all your other things besides the games?
Yeah, absolutely. I think every day now, everybody has just a little different approach. I think ever since, that SMU game, we've all kind of we had our talks, and, everybody kind of, figured out what we needed to do. So I think ever since then, we've been on the tangent. Everybody's kind of trying to find better daily habits to get into, just finding ways to grow individually, so it helps us grow as a team.
Facts.
For either one of you guys, looks like you guys established yourself defensively early. Just how valuable was that to get the early control of the game?
You got it.
It was huge. I think that's one thing we really talk about coming out of the game, coming out of the half with the first punch and with great intent. And I think that's one thing Coach has been just emphasizing with us, just intentional, be intentional with everything you do. So I think with us just coming out, getting off to a great start was very, 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 very meaningful for us. And for us to be able to do that, unlike previous games, was big for us in tonight's win.
Facts.
Donovan, you guys have won 4 in a row. Just what's the vibe in the locker room around the team? What are you guys feeling like right now?
We was just playing young boy in the locker room, honestly. But the vibe is good. I think everybody feels like, even the coaches, we all feel like going into conference, we have that momentum. This is the same way we started the season. That momentum that we had, I think we finally kind of got that back, and it's important, especially going into conference, what we have, San Diego State, January 1st, first conference game. So having that momentum of 4 games in a row, good wins, good strong wins, good quality wins, and we're played well through them, I think that's everything that we needed. Guys going to go home, rest, get off their feet, and then immediately when we get back, it's right back to business.
Kind of just piggyback off that, you told me how important it was to win tonight and carry this momentum. What does it say about your team, your guys, just accomplishing that tonight?
It just shows that we're a team that doesn't back down from a challenge. That team coming in, we had the same record, both played good schedules. So, that game could have easily went either way. That's a really strong team. They're really seasoned. They're vets. So for us, being able to come out with that win, that shows us that we're on the right track. We're on the right track to be the team that we want to be in March. We always said we're not going to be the team that we want to be in December or November, but by the time March comes, we want to be that team. So I think this game really helped us show, now we go back and we're like, okay, we really believe that we can do this as a team, as a program.
Will it feel good to go home with a dub?
Absolutely. Nobody want to go home over Christmas with a
Way
break.
better.
Absolutely.
Thank you.